one of Washington's worst fears was the party system. And he also was afraid of the party system uniting. He said if the party system united, the USA would cease to exist. Why? Because opposition. Because a party is simply a group of people that have shared ideology, right? And so now we have the left and the right. The issue in our country is the party system because these parties have affluence, they have resources, and they can essentially control the ballot outcomes. That's why we need the money out of politics movement, which I am a supporter of, um, in spirit, in ideology, right? But I'm like actively advocating for money out of politics. There's two situations now that if it's not already evident, it should be evident, right? The first situation is when we had Bernie and Clinton, and everybody voted for Bernie, but Bernie did not win. If your vote truly mattered, Bernie would have won. But instead, it was more of a vote of which side do you want to win? Oh, it's the blue votes. We're just looking at that as the blue votes, and we're going to put Clinton up. Bernie should have won. The people did not vote for Clinton, and it does not make sense that Clinton was the one who got pushed forward. That was the party that decided that, right? And now what's happened on the Republican side of things, and Massey, who is essentially what's going on over there, is splitting the Republican vote, right? Because he was going to win and he was saying anti things, and people didn't like the anti things that he was saying. So more money got thrown at the situation, and now he might not even make primaries. And that proves that all you got to do is throw money at it. Money, which should not be the case, is the only thing that is needed for political outcome. Now, further, let's take a step even further back. Let's just say that I am an entity and I am interested in your government's your government's politics, right? It would behoove me to have a left candidate and a right candidate picked out. So no matter what, whichever one wins, I still win. They may have similar they may have slight differences in ideology that this group of people can bicker about or whatever, but I still win. I put money into that person, I put money into that person. And then also on the climb upward, what I do is I find the candidates I want to win, and then I fund the main person that I want to win, but I fund the other person that I want to win. And at the same time, I can allow that person to fund a smear campaign against their opponents, right? So now I've created division in the one that I don't want to win as much, but I'm still okay with winning, right? By maybe watering down the voting pool, and also greatly supporting the person I want to win more. So now, no matter what, whoever wins is on my team, represents my interests. And that's the issue that we have. And that's why we need to get rid of the party system. We should not vote for people who have party affiliations. Bare minimum right now, we should not be voting Democrat or Republican. We should be voting for the other ones. But in general, we just need to phase out the party system, period, right? Because at the end of the day, what a party system is, a party is just a group of people who shared ideology, and they split resources as necessary. But what happens when that group gains a lot of affluence and becomes corrupted, right? Now it has a political advantage and it no longer reflects the will of the people. And now another issue that you have is you have party, which is this group of people with their shared ideologies and their individual interests. And then you have people who identify with a party's ideology. They're not part of the party, but they identify as Republican or Democrat, right? And then if somebody sees that a party, this group of people who have like access to the ballot output, right, is doing something and somebody complains about that person, the people who are not part of the actual party but identify with the party's ideologies, now they feel like they're under attack. And that's why we literally have people bickering at each other all the time about whose party sucks, because they have personally they personally wear this identity as if it's like part of who they are. It's no different than any other form of self identification, right? Your citizenship status, your religious status, your cultural status. How dare you insult this idea? I am this idea. But yeah, I think that we just need to phase out the party system. The party system is the problem. And I think that honestly, people in all states, regardless of Republican or Democrat, that's something that we can all agree on, right? Is that we should just be voting for individuals. We should all be voting for individuals who we feel reflect our interests to govern us, who are looking out for us, right? And on top of that, the ranked voting system. I don't understand why people say ranked choice voting doesn't make sense. To me, if I have a classroom of children and I'm like, all right, I'm looking at 30 flavors of ice cream, but I can't afford 30 flavors of ice cream. So I want each of you to pick, 5 to 7 flavors and rank them by your number one choice, your number two choice, etc. More than likely, I'm going to find common denominators and I can find a high percentage flavor that most of the children in the class will be okay with. And now I can find a flavor that will appease everyone, or a couple flavors that will appease everyone. And if that would work in that simple classroom environment, then it should also work in politics. And you're also encouraging people who don't believe in the voting system to vote, because now your vote does matter. Your vote isn't a waste, it's just a weighted value. But still, somebody else that you voted for can make it. So, okay, and you don't have to worry about psychological battles like, don't vote for this person, they don't stand a chance. You really want to split the vote and let that guy win, right? Because that psychology, that's part of the problem. That's why we don't get the representation that we want. Well, one of them.